please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City of Romulus, City Council regular meeting for Tuesday, September 4th, 2018.
Sorry about that. City of Romulus City Council regular meeting for Tuesday, September 4th, 2018. This time we will take roll call, well, we don't really need to take roll call vote because we did it earlier at the special meeting and all council persons were present. Number 1 is agenda, 2 minutes, 3 petitioner, 4 chairperson's report, 5 mayor's report, 6A clerk's report, 7 public comment, 8 unfinished business, 9 new business, 10 communication, 11 is warrant. And I need to, for the agenda this evening, we do need to strike item 6A7, the study session request for September 10th. So we will not be asking for that this evening.
Which one?
6A7, we need to strike that from the agenda this evening. And a motion would be in order to accept the agenda as presented.
So
moved to accept the agenda as presented.
support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, to accept the agenda as presented. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Agenda accepted.
2A is approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting held August 27th, 2018.
So move for August 27, 2018.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for approval of the minutes from our regular council meeting, which was held August 27, 2018. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
2B is approval of the minutes from the special meeting, open session, held on Monday, August 27th, 2018, the quarterly investment report and Midwest Recycling.
So moved for approval of the minutes from the special meeting
Support.
held August
Oh,
27th.
I'm sorry. Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, for approval of the minutes from the special meeting open session held on Monday, August the 27th, 2018, for our quarterly investment report and Midwest Recycling. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
We have no petitioners this evening, so that takes us to number 4, the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk Barr. Earlier today, this evening at 7 p.m., we had a closed session concerning our attorney opinion. At this time, the council, I'm going to recognize Councilwoman Williams.
Okay, I would like to ask the council for approval of a memorial resolution for Ella Coleman. She was a 30-year employee of the Romulus Community Schools. She moved into Romulus in 1948. She's been like a mother of the community in which she lived in. So I ask council to approve a memorial resolution.
Support it.
It's been motioned by Ms. Williams, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, for memorial resolution for Ms. Coleman. Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, and motion is approved. Next, Chair is going to recognize Councilman Wadsworth.
Thank you, Mr. Barton. I just want to be quick on this and remind the public that school's open. School is open, the buses are going, the kids are moving. So on Barth Road, Hale Creek, Romulus Elementary, up on Beverly, Wick Road by the high school, slow down. Slow down, put those cell phones down, stop texting with your coffee and your cigarette in your mouth and speeding up and down because you're late for work. Slow down, because once something happens, you can't back it up, folks. You can't back it up, and these kids are very valuable. Thank you, Mr. Barton.
Thank you, Mr. Wadsworth. Next, Chair's gonna recognize Mrs. Talley.
Thank you, Mr. Burton. It's my honor to make a motion for a memorial resolution for one of our own here in the city administration building, Bambi, who works in the clerk's office. She lost her father, so I'm gonna make a motion for a memorial resolution for John Roy Smathers. He was 69 of Georgetown, Ohio. He died Thursday, August 30th, at his residence. Mr. Smathers worked in the steel mill industry and later retired from Detroit Metropolitan Airport. He is survived by his wife of 45 years, Mary Ann Masterson Smathers, whom he married on October 14, 1972. Two children, Justin Smathers of Taylor, Michigan, and Bambi Stanley, and husband Terry of Taylor, Michigan. Two grandchildren, Jordan and Nick Dambrose, and one sister, Nancy Knoll of Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Masonic services and funeral service will be held September 5th. They will be held in Ohio. If you need any further information, you can contact the clerk's office.
Thank you, Ms. Talley.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Abdo for a memorial resolution. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved. That will conclude the chairperson's report tonight.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to accept the report.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, to accept the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, and thank you.
5 is the mayor's report.
Good evening, City Council, Treasurer, Deputy Clerk, and audience. Tonight's short and sweet quote, but I like this one. Wherever you go, no matter what the weather, always bring your own sunshine. And it's kind of the close of summer, kind of ties into that, along with Mr. Wadsworth's message about schools. Also the buses, please obey those blinking lights. You know, when they're on or the warning light comes on, then the red. So many times, I don't know if it's because I'm by a school over there, but please be careful. Don't pass them. Their kids could be crossing. So busy time of the year, especially with sporting events, after school events as well. Speaking of events, we do have a quick video clip that will run. Raj, if you roll that, please.
Here are some events coming up. The Farmers Market is operating every Wednesday and will run through September the 26th. It is located near the pavilion at the Historical Park in downtown Romulus. There will be a bonus market on Saturday, September the 11th from 11 until 4. The second annual Grandparent-Grandchild Night Out is on Friday, September the 7th at the Senior Center from 5 to 7 p.m. Tickets are $10 per pair and $6 for each additional child. You can purchase the tickets in the mayor's office. The library is hosting toddler story time on Wednesdays at 10:30 a.m. Also at the library, there will be a family movie night on Wednesday the 5th. The movie, which starts at 6 p.m., will be Lego DC Superheroes Aquaman. Wednesday, September the 19th, there will be a town hall meeting at Barth School to discuss the police, fire, and safety millage. The Romulus Police are looking for more people for the upcoming Citizens Academy class, which is scheduled to start Tuesday, September the 11th. There will be a Gleaners free food distribution at the high school Wednesday the 12th, beginning at 1 p.m. The 21st Annual Pumpkin Festival will kick off on Friday the 21st of September with the Romulus Rotary's Parade of Lights. The parade will start at 8 p.m. on Goddard Road and go through downtown, ending at the Progressive Hall. The festival will run throughout the weekend with lots of entertainment, food, and crafts. To find out more about all of our community events, go to the locations noted on your screen. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Roger. A couple action items before you tonight. I'll start with the first one. This is a request, a recommendation from Lynn Conway, Purchasing Director, and Steve Dudak, Technology Services Director. It's a request to concur with administration, extend RFP 12/13-36, contract for licensing and maintenance of the Highland on-base modules currently being utilized throughout the city from Applied Imaging at the cost of $11,936.31, and for professional services needed from Applied Imaging at a contracted hourly rate. Those funds have been verified, budgeted, and available in the Technology Service Fund for maintenance.
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Webb.
I'd like to make that motion to extend the licensing and maintenance of the Highland on-base modulars.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for the one-year extension for the Highland on-base software maintenance service and professional services work agreement with Applied Imaging. Any discussion?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Through the chair, I would like to ask, with this agreement, will this correct the problem that we're having from not being able to get the council packets electronically?
Steve, do you want to address that, please?
Council, Mayor, others in attendance. This particular piece of the puzzle, when you're talking about the council packets, do interplay. This is the first step that we have to do in terms of maintaining our current offering for the records that we have. This was originally purchased in 2005 for both records retention for a city as well as the police department, and was re-upped in 12-13. And we have 45 years worth of data basically in the system. What we're trying to do by extending this is to obviously maintain the current offering, but we're working on a separate solution that may or may not be with this particular vendor or some other vendor for dealing with the minutes management. So that is something we hope to have within the next few weeks. We're hoping to get a demonstration in front of the mayor's office and basically show what this will offer. Ideally, we will start posting things online as opposed to having to send them through the phone, and we have a couple different options available to us, but we're not quite ready for the RFP process.
So, how long is this contract for? Is it just for?
Just 1 year.
Just 1 year, okay. Thank you.
Anything else for Steve? No. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. Okay, it's been motioned by Ms. Webb and supported by Ms. Roscoe. Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next item is a recommendation from Roberto Scapitici, DPW Director, and this is to concur with administration, authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached pass-through agreement between the city of Romulus and SEMCOG for the feasibility study and for grade separation at Pennsylvania Road at a CSX crossing. This would be west of the 275 freeway. The city of Romulus will be responsible for a local share of $9,075. These funds have been confirmed that the funds will be available and are in the major roads engineering account.
Mr. Chairman,
This is
I'll
an initiative
move.
that we're working on along with Huron, but we're taking the lead.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move for a feasibility study of a grade separation of Pennsylvania Road and the railroad crossing, and I have a question.
Yes.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe. This is for the SEMCOG grant opportunity for feasibility study of a grade separation at Pennsylvania Road and CSX crossing. Discussion, Mr. Wadsworth.
If I could, to the mayor, obviously, this is long overdue, but how'd this come about?
Yeah, so how this came about, we've been having
What
regular
kind of
meetings with CSX, and basically, what we need to come up with, what this grant opportunity will do, and basically, as we're a member of SEMCOG, it came up through our discussion with them, and this will give us kind of the blueprint or the plan for what the solve is. I mean, I've been talking to everybody from Gary Peters to others saying, help us with funding. Now I'll be able to say, this is the plan, this is what the solve is. In order to get other funding, which there may be several other funding mechanisms we're gonna have to reach out to, you need to have a game plan, so this will kind of be the playbook for that.
I mean, I know and I can't think of his name, but the state rep from Huron Township begins with a C.
Camilleri.
David Camilleri?
He's
Yes.
been-
He's come to.
On YouTube, giving testimony.
We've invited him, along with Huron and the representatives from both communities, to several meetings. I really don't want to have more meetings until we have something to talk about. So this was a kind of a breakthrough step to be able to get grant. SEMCOG stepped up and said, and they've been coming to those meetings. They said, I think we can help you get the plan together. From there, it's going to be a lot of hard work to still try to find funding, because as we know, those projects are not inexpensive.
Because both of us can remember when Mayor Oakley saved all the dirt from the runway at the airport. It kind of fell on.
And we had funding at the time in the late '90s, but unfortunately, some things changed in Washington, and that money was reallocated. So we still have to battle for it. But I need to know, as well as Huron and all the parties, what are we asking for? So this will give us that.
Fine, good idea.
All right, Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Ms. Tally.
Yes.
Ms. Webb.
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, Council. The last item that's before you is a request to concur with the administration, authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached resolution to adopt a Mass Mutual 457B deferred compensation plan for the city employees. And this is a recommendation of Kevin Lozen, our HR director, and legal counsel.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'll
Ms.
make that,
Abdo.
I'll make that motion to concur with administration and authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached resolution to adopt a Mass Mutual 457 deferred compensation plan for the city employees.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Tally. This is for that request for a resolution to adopt the Mass Mutual 457B deferred compensation. Any discussion?
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Is there any changes with the deferred compensation that's already in place, or is this the same one?
Sure, go ahead.
This is going to be a replacement for what's been in place. There was 3 companies that were providing the services, and we went out to bid with those 3 plus the company Morgan Stanley that is providing services for the 401 plan in the city. And we had certain criteria in there. One of the criteria we were trying to accomplish was to make the investment people the fiduciary that's responsible for selecting the pool of funds that the employees have to pick from, rather than the city being responsible for that, because city and the staff, we don't have anybody who has the expertise to make that decision. The old plans, that was the city's responsibility. New plans, that's not. We had 2 out of the 4 that gave us back bids, were willing to do what we wanted them to do. So one of them is Morgan Stanley, that I think will be back hopefully next Monday with their documents, and the other one is Mass Mutual. And Mass Mutual is one of the current providers. So for some of the employees, they're just staying with Mass Mutual. Some of them, if they want to, they can switch to Morgan Stanley, or the ones that were with the ones that are discontinued, they get to select from Morgan Stanley or Mass Mutual, whichever they want.
So it's actually, we're going with this plan, it's actually better security for the employees
Yeah, we think so.
and the city?
More options,
Okay.
and both of these companies have individuals that will meet with the employees individually, talk about their financial needs.
And they'll be the fiduciary for the.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Ms. Tally.
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Ms. Webb.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
That concludes my report, Council. Thank you.
Thank you.
6A is the clerk's report, and 6A1 is for second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 1819-04, the Library Fund, and this was introduced at the council meeting of August 27th, 2018.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move for the second reading and final adoption of Budget Amendment 18/904. It's the library fund,
Support.
with the donations to the fund.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Tally for second reading and final adoption of Budget Amendment 18/19-04 for Library Fund. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A2 is second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 1819-05, General Fund, and this was introduced at the council meeting of August 27th, 2018.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for second reading and final adoption for Budget Amendment 18/19-05 from the general fund.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Webb, for second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 18/19-05, General Fund. Discussion? Ms. Williams?
Yes. Is this for the parking lot between, that the city and the court was responsible to pay a portion? The mayor?
It is.
Okay, because I remember the city was responsible for 80,000, am I correct? And the library was responsible for 50,000?
Correct.
So this is saying 120, shouldn't it be 130?
That's the current budget.
This was not done last year, so this is moving the same dollars. Dollar amount didn't change.
Okay.
It's just the year it's gonna be done.
Okay.
Okay. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A3, second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 1819-06, Court Building Construction Fund, and this was introduced at the council meeting of August 27th, 2018.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 18/19-06 for the Court Building Construction Fund.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Tally, second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 18/19-06, Court Building Construction Fund. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A4 is for second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 1819-07, Brownfield Redevelopment Authority, and that was introduced at the council meeting of August 27th, 2018.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move for second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 18/19-07, the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority, and that's for the property located at 8111 Middlebelt Road.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb, for second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 18/19-07 for the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A5 is second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 1819-08, General Fund, and this was also introduced at the council meeting of August 27th, 2018.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for the second reading and final adoption of Budget Amendment 18/19-08.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Roscoe. Second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 18/19-08, General Fund. Discussion.
Yes.
Williams.
I would just like to make sure before, this money is 66,000 from this grant, Play Everywhere Challenge Grant, and then $25,101, a total of $91,101 to create, the Recreation and Jasmine Vision down on the, Boise Way, which I said we call it the Blacktop. To me, that seems like a lot of money, so I would definitely like to see what type of equipment and the pricing of the equipment, once they get everything, you know, because I really would have liked to see it before I vote on it, but,
It's a great opportunity. It's a grant dollars that we're awarded, so we'll share with you the plan. No problem.
Okay. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
No.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, and motion is approved.
6A6 is study session request for September 24th, 2018 at 6:15 PM to discuss a new city ordinance regarding freestanding basketball hoops and poles.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we have a special meeting on September 24th at 6:15 PM to study the new ordinance regarding freestanding basketball poles.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, for the study session request for September the 24th at 6:15 PM to discuss a new city ordinance regarding freestanding basketball hoops and poles. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
That concludes the clerk's report, and 6B is the treasurer's report.
Good evening, council, mayor, deputy clerk, and the audience. I have 2 items on my agenda tonight. And the first one is, I just want to remind everybody that the Romulus Athletic Center is closed this week. They are doing some housekeeping and will reopen on Saturday. So if you had any plans, just know that they will not reopen till Saturday. And then the second item I would like to discuss is the drop boxes. The 2 drop boxes at City Hall. The first one I'd like to discuss is the drop box located at the front entrance as you enter the building. That drop box is available every day and all day. It is checked Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. by a staff member in the treasurer's office. Payments are gathered at that time and processed in the office. But do remember that it is available to drop any payments in there at any time. In regards to the second drop box, its purpose is for customers to drive up to the curb to drop their deposit or their payment into the box without getting out of the car. And due to the construction, the drop box by the curb has been temporarily taken down due to the construction. I have spoke with DPW, and there will be a sign installed there, likely tomorrow or the next day. That sign is going to read drop boxes, which includes the drop box that was for the clerk to put ballots in, have been temporarily moved. Please use drop box at the front door. Sorry for the inconvenience. I just want to remind everybody that it is temporary, and as soon as we're able to get the drop box back up, we will get that drop box back up. However, I believe in customer service, and if there is any customer that cannot walk to the drop box that is at the front entranceway, you can call the treasurer's office at 734-942-7580, and I or a staff member will come out and get the payment and process it for you. But that's for emergency purposes, people that cannot walk or get up to the drop box. Again, it is temporary, and I do want to apologize for the inconvenience, but please be patient. Thank you.
Number 7 is public comment. Individuals who would like to address City Council must raise their hand, and when recognized by the chair, approach the podium and state their name and address. Remarks shall be limited to 3 minutes, subject to being extended an additional 3 minutes by consent of the chairperson. There shall be no personal attacks, and remarks shall not contain any profanity, racial, ethnic, sexual, or national origin slurs or overtones. This public meeting shall not be used to campaign for elected office and may not be used to support or oppose any candidate or ballot proposals. Anyone not adhering to these rules shall lose their right to address City Council. A response to any questions and/or concerns will be provided under agenda item number 8, unfinished business, only if the information is available. Otherwise, responses that require further investigation will be given at a later date. We do not have any written requests this evening.
Okay. Any comments from the audience? Yes. Good evening.
Burcroft. I'm a resident of the city of Romulus. I've been here for over 30 years. David T. Jones.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
My granddaughter just started school today. I visited at Barth Elementary last week. I know this isn't I've been to the school board, not getting anywhere. Went to the school, place looked like it was abandoned. I mean, weeds were up to your knees, playground was overgrown with weeds. It's just an unsafe condition. I mean, the schools are supposed to be a threshold to our city, to bring kids in here. Well, I had parents come and thank me because I took my crew and my people over there. We spent 3/4 of the day Sunday cleaning up the playground, cleaning up all the weeds, trimming back the dead limbs that were overhanging all the sidewalks that were been hanging there about ready to fall down on somebody. I mean, I have a lot of pictures that we took. I met with Mrs. McAnally. She said she'd get back with me. She called me, left a message. I called her, no response. So hence, this is why I'm coming here, asking for someone, or all of you, to push on the school board to clean up our schools. Our kids are going there, our grandkids are going there, and it's unsafe. I mean, the conditions over there are appalling. I wish everybody could take a drive by the schools. They're bad. I mean, Barth looks 10 times better now that we spent 3/4 of the day Sunday cleaning it up, or actually, pardon me, Monday. Making sure that the kids had a place to play because it was so bad. You know, I want to keep it short, but I'm pleading, asking somebody to help. I'm volunteering as much time as I can. We remulched the front of as much of the schools at that time. We're going to go back and finish mulching the front of the school. The teachers and parents have told me, the ones that came by as we were cleaning up, said that they've been after the school board for over 2 years to remulch the playground and clean them up. They're same thing. They are afraid that their kids are going to get hurt. I mean, the playscapes they have, the rubber coating on the playscapes is peeling off, and it's nothing but rust and sharp edges. I brought this to Mrs. McAnally's attention and told them there is easy repairs for it, and asked, what do their maintenance guys do? We have 5 guys, 2 guys cut grass, okay? They knew that the kids were going to school back in June. This all could have been taken care of and cleaned up before kids started school. They were gonna let kids start with beehives next to the front entrance, which I sprayed and we took care of those. I couldn't have kids with allergies getting stung, and took it upon ourselves to do this. So I thank you for your time, but I wanted to come this evening and speak my mind because something's got to be done.
Mr. Martin, if I could, thank you, Mr. Jones, for what you did, because I was wondering who was down there on the weekend working. I thought it was the school board himself, but obviously it wasn't. It was you.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
volunteered my time.
Thank you for what you did.
My company time, too. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. You're welcome. And I'd do it again. I mean, I just can't see kids playing in those conditions. Like I said, the schools are a threshold to our community.
Right.
And I feel that it's, unfortunately, city council needs to do something.
Yeah.
Ms. Williams, yes?
Thank you so much for caring about your community. The sinking fund that was just passed for the school is what's supposed to take care of that, but I ask that all residents, whether you have kids in the school or not, go to the school board and voice your opinion, so it's just not 1 or 2. So as a grandparent and as a resident, I will make sure I let my voice be heard about what you just brought to our attention.
I plan on being at the next school board meeting too. It just, like I said, we can only do so much.
Yeah.
So, I'll work with anybody. I'll take the time. If somebody else wants to pitch in and help, I'll clean up, because the school needs more attention. They have pallets stacked up behind the building that there's animals living. I walk by there and there's rodents living underneath it. And they say that they use them for some kind of fall event. Well, they need a different storage facility than behind the school where kids roam. Little kids, you get a little kid over there and they see a little rodent and they think it's a pet, and
Right.
unfortunately, something's gonna get bit.
To the chair, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Webb?
I wasn't going to address this, but thank you for coming to the council. I think all of my colleagues would appreciate when you have an issue with the school and you want to stand before council, that you would notify us either by phone or call the mayor's office, and they'll get that information to us, only because we are a separate entity. The school board takes care of their maintenances in their business, and council takes care of the city business. But thank you so much, because I would definitely will be riding through there. My children attended Barth Elementary, and we never had those problems before. And I just didn't know that we were having those problems. But the best place to go is to the school board, maybe notify some of the parents. But if you have any other complaints in regards to that, then maybe contact each one of us individually.
Oh, I agree, and I have called the mayor's office, and the young lady that I talked to promptly said that it's not their problem.
Yeah, but we would still like to know.
Yeah, so then I got another call from Mrs. McAnally, and she met me at the school and said, okay, we said that they had mulch in the works. Okay, well, as far as I'm concerned, this should have been in the works back in June, so it was ready for the kids to start. And it wasn't.
Well, keep us informed.
Oh, I will.
Okay.
Thank you for
Okay.
letting me speak, and I'm sorry, I just needed
That's
to
okay.
find some other help because the school's just not doing it.
Thank you.
Thank you, have a good night.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Any other comments from the audience? Comment? Yes.
I don't know whether it's a comment, but I have a question. Is that appropriate?
Sure.
I have a customer that wanted to put up a fence in front of the house on Eureka Road. Well, the house sets back about 180 feet. So anyway, I applied for a permit, and I guess it's a 300-foot rule. You have to notify neighbors that when you want to put up a fence. Well, there are no neighbors within 600 feet. Now, she says I couldn't appear unless I had this, the public notice. So I'm asking you, is it a waiver when there is no one to send it to?
Okay, we're gonna,
It's an information question.
yeah, we're gonna address that on unfinished business. Could you give your name again?
Thomas Maycock.
Oh, okay. We're gonna address that on the unfinished, comments, Mr.
Pardon?
Maycock. We're gonna address that on unfinished business.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Any other comments from the audience? No more comments from the audience? We close that part out.
Number 8 is unfinished business.
Okay,
Mr.
unfinished.
Chairman, on the first one, David Jones that came before us on city school, he was answered that it's not, the city's responsibility. We work with the schools all the time. We've worked with them with mulch, we've worked with them on issues. I would love for him to call my office. He sounds like he's maybe in the hallway, because we try to refer people to the right people at the schools to get responses. So he did not get a response saying it's not our problem at the mayor's office, I guarantee you. And I challenge him to come back, and we'll make sure of that. I do want to talk about some things positive with the schools. Here, an example is I had communication over this last week over the break-in that we had at Hale Creek. So here we had a situation where we had some suspects that came in, broke into Hale Creek, took several iPads. We work with the schools, got video, work with the public, work with some surrounding agencies, and now we've recovered almost all of those. So I notified the schools of that. So just another example of our, frontline people, police and fire, in this case, both involved in it, did a phenomenal job to make sure the kids have equipment at Hale Creek going back. So we work with the schools all the time. We don't have the authority, as it came up earlier, over them, but we're here to help them. We're one community, okay? So we need the buildings to be safe. We need to be able to work with them on public safety, whatever those issues are, and we'll continue to do that. Mr. Maycock's question about the variance for a fence and notification, my understanding, unless Steve can correct me, that'd have to go through the ZBA, get approval for that. That wouldn't be council's authority, nor is there any waiver ability that we have in that. We have to notify anybody in that area that wants to have due process or be heard on it. So that would be the process to go through.
Okay, thank you.
Number 9 is new business.
Business?
10, communication.
Thank you, Mr. Burton. A couple of quick things. Last week in our package, didn't get a chance to bring it up last week, but I think it would be remiss if I didn't bring it up this week. It was a FYI, and it's about internet. It's a program through Comcast for internet essentials. You know, we're in a society where everything is on the internet. You really need the internet. And what they offer is a program, if you know of anybody, low-income families or persons, where they provide low-cost, high-speed internet service for $9.95 a month plus tax, and the option to purchase an internet-ready computer for under $150, and multiple options to access free digital literacy training in print, online, and in person. They have a number here if you are interested or know of anybody who could be interested in taking advantage of this program. It is 855-846-8376. And then they also have a website, www.internetessentials.com. So if anybody want to take advantage of that, this is the information. You can just call that number. And then on another note, and this has just happened today, we had one of our own who was a part of the Ministerial Alliance and also a minister, a reverend at First Baptist Church of Romulus who passed away today, Reverend Terry Edwards passed away today. So it just happened today, so we don't have all the arrangements as of right now. I'm sure we'll have a memorial resolution come down the line, but this is just more as a let everybody know that he did pass today. And just a couple of quick comments. Him and his wife, his family, he was a part of my life, most of my life, and he will be sorely missed. And like I said, this just happened today. Just want to let people know who know him. Keep the family in prayer during this time, very difficult time right now, as with any loss. And then on another positive note, we have someone celebrating an anniversary today, 42 years of marriage. Who would that be? It would be Mr. Barton and his wife for 42 years. And I just want to say congratulations on 42 years of marriage. That can't be an easy feat. But you guys have stuck it out, stayed together, and my mom is here. They had 50 years this year. Y'all a little bit behind them, but y'all still up there. So just congratulations to the Bartons, 42 years of marriage. Miss Barton, if you're out there listening, congratulations, and many more years to come.
Thank you, Ms. Talley. You said something very interesting. You said it must have been a feat. I guess it was. Anyone that put over me for 42 years. I'd like to thank my wife for 42 wonderful years. She's a great mother, grandmother, friend of the community, a loving person. It's a funny thing, my father's birthday today also. We got married on my father's birthday years ago, 42. And I just want to wish my father happy birthday.
Amen.
Thank you.
Number 11 is adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdu?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. We adjourn. Thank you.